has a movie playing inside their head. Everyone is the star of that movie. And as long as movies are made, people have films playing inside their head. Well, so is a character from tonight's film, The Gangs of Wasseypur. I'm paraphrasing, of course. He says it a little bit more eloquently than I ever could. But tonight we're going to be watching Anurag Kashyap's film. A interesting director in many respects, because he began life with some middle-of-the-road genre films and then made a film called Dev D, which is actually quite an interesting gangster film. He most recently made a film called Bombay Talkies, which was an absolute flop and basically was self-indulgent and rather tripe. But that's usually the case. This film was an enigma because it's a brilliant piece of cinema, and it's also a brilliant piece of histrionics. It discusses how, for instance, the coal mafia were pivotal in the exploitation of people and of the newly found Indian state. The idea that nationalism and socialism kind of merged together and failed because of the fact that, well, greed and business came along to trump it. What I love about this film is Sardar Singh, the character who is among magnificent other characters who all have small parts but are brilliantly characterised and very fascinating. They kind of pop up and populate this film in a way that you can't help but love and want to see films about their lives. But Sardar Singh is an exception to that rule. You could argue he's a misogynist, you could argue he's self-serving, you could argue he's empty and only out for revenge, but my argument is often this: he's a man who has two sides, as many gangsters and people in crime films, and especially in American crime cinema, have. They have the loving, tender side, the good side, the side that they show to those that they are intimate with and who they feel emotionally connected to. And then they have the bad side, the dark side, the murderous side, the I can take this knife and stab you with it without any remorse or any regret, because this is business and this is the way that I see things. And what's interesting is that Sardar Singh becomes not a hero or a villain, but he just becomes this floating man who is empty and soulless because he's trying to get revenge. But unlike those fantastic westerns where our hero sets out only for revenge, he builds a life. He builds a reality around himself and then sees that reality in an almost disjointed way, because he seems to think that that can exist alongside this hunt for revenge and these dark acts that he does. Absolutely amazing in many respects. And the sequel, which we won't be showing tonight, but is certainly worth a watch and certainly worth exploring, is just as fascinating. For me, what I love about Indian cinema often is the fact that it can engage you and also distract you from some of the things that you didn't expect to see. You see, we are often fed this idea that India is bright colours and the Taj Mahal and all of these Bollywood dancers, and often that is half the story. Yes, there is extremes in India, but let's not forget there's also extremely great cinema.